Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes, here.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Yes. We have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, public notice, please.
Sure. Notice of meeting notice of meeting was given in the following manner. Notice of meeting was transmitted to the Homeless Tribune. Said notice of meeting and a copy of the agenda were filed with the Office of City Clerk on April 22nd, 2016. And said notice of meeting and a copy of the agenda were prominently posted on the announcement board in the lobby of City Hall, 78 Berry Street, at least 48 hours prior to the convening of this meeting.
Right, we'll go to the resolution.
Resolution number 10 is a resolution authorizing and approving the payment of bills for the month of March 2016.
You can make a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution number 11 is a resolution approving and authorizing the allocation of additional funds not to exceed $4,000 for additional architectural and engineering services by Joseph McKernan Jr. and Associates.
Motion.
Question,
A motion.
a question. He's making a motion, but I want a question on the motion. Right?
It's just a point of order. You need a second and a move, and then you can do the
yeah,
question,
yeah,
and then you get.
Second.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Point of information.
So I'm sorry. There was no motion, Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
No, he
motion.
said,
I'll make a
but he
motion.
said- I'll second the motion since I got a question.
Okay.
What is it for?
So, as you know, we do annual contracts for our architect and engineering services. The cap on the contract this year was $40,000, which was a response. We had some additional tasks, as you know, for the fencing and security camera systems that were approved.
Right.
Those additional tasks were not originally considered when we did the original contract. So we're asking for that a little more
To
money.
go into that.
Correct, to go towards those additional task orders that were tasked to the contractors, so we cannot exceed the contract
Okay.
for that period.
Yeah, I remember, okay. That's
Any
all.
other questions?
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Any comments from the public?
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Charles Prattville. I'm a resident of New Brunswick. I'm the editor of a community newspaper, New Brunswick Today. And I'm very concerned about the direction this board's moving in. Can you tell me, first of all, are any board members making recordings of this proceedings today?
Why do we need the record?
What, I'm sorry?
Why?
Why do you need to record?
Yeah.
I didn't say you need to record. I did advise that's the best practice. I'm asking because Mr. Jones, Commissioner Jones, is pointing his phone at me and he said camera to camera earlier. I just want to know, is he recording?
Good comment.
Sir, this is a public comment, not an opportunity to ask the board.
Mr. Chairman, then you have a double standard because you told me I have to tell you
Yeah,
before I
of course,
record you.
yeah.
Okay, so
Next
can you
comment,
tell me, are you recording me right
Don't get
now?
upset with me. Next comment.
Are you recording me right now? Can you ask Mr. Jones to say if he's recording me?
No.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, you have another comment?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have asked a lot of questions in February that are still not answered. I have been forced to sue this agency because you've refused to release many documents and videos that might reveal evidence of corruption. And I'd like to ask why Mr. Clark has not responded to my list of questions that he's had ample time to answer. They're not hard questions like, what is the current length of the agency's waiting list?
You will send it.
Mr. Chairman, this is a matter of pending litigation. As Mr. Kravitz said, there's a lawsuit. In fact, he is represented by counsel, so we're now required to respond to these questions in the context of his lawsuit.
Okay.
Incorrect, sir. This is a question that it has nothing to do with the lawsuit.
I don't
How
answer
long is
question.
your
You-
waiting list?
we took your
How long
comment.
is the waiting
We
list?
took your comment. You have another comment?
The people here deserve to know how long the waiting list is and why there are so many empty units in this complex. This agency is giving up money because you don't have people in the units.
Okay.
Why are you hoarding these empty units and not putting people in them? What is the holdup
We're
here?
taking that into consideration. Another comment?
So you have no comment, except that you're
You
taking
may-
it into consideration, okay.
Okay.
Can we hear from the executive director on why he can't respond to my questions? Because back in January, we had a very nice kind of arrangement where you said, hey, don't bring these questions up at the meetings, John will meet with you outside there and we'll do it. I still have questions pending from that one meeting that he gave
Did
me.
you contact him on that?
I did, I copied you on the email. Can I just get an explanation of when will I get answers?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, yeah. I'm working on some of the answers to the additional questions. I believe I gave you answers when we met in February to numerous questions you had in February. We are working on the additional answers. I did get your email that had some additional items about the waiting list, about some other items, which we can answer. And I will answer, you'll have those by Friday.
By Friday, I'll have answers to the questions that I submitted via
So the
email.
answer to the questions I can answer. Some of the questions I can't answer, obviously, because they are actually included in some of the items that Mr. Manfredi mentioned.
Thank you, and moving on to that matter, the Housing Authority is not in any way prevented from fulfilling my Oprah requests because of any litigation. In fact, you're breaking your promise by not releasing the records. I was promised that I would get the records by the end of February, or at least a response, a substantive response. Can you please ask your attorney, who does...
He has already answered to that question a few minutes ago.
No, he actually didn't answer the question. Can you ask him again? When will I get these records?
He has already answered the question.
You're represented by counsel, son.
Okay, can you ask him how many housing authorities he represents?
Not
That has
relevant.
nothing to do with the housing authority here.
Does he represent any housing authorities that have agreements with New Brunswick? Then yes, it does.
Okay, you have another comment?
Yes. What is going on with the parking tickets? Is the MBPA now patrolling the right place?
I'm sorry, I can answer that question. We have still have a hold on our authority doing any parking violations until we complete our task. The parking authority and the city continue to patrol areas of the city and the city proper. So, we're part of the city, so the parking authority and the city will continue to patrol whatever areas that we are within their jurisdiction to patrol. But as far as the housing authority is concerned, that is still on hold until we complete our entire review of the parking lot.
Okay, so it's still under review.
Correct, yeah, we're still reviewing that. We have not completed our review. We've gone back 2014, 2015, and we should have a completion of that, I would suspect, in the next week or so.
Okay. My concern is that...
Mr. Cornwell,
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Commissioner.
My concern is that folks who've already paid the tickets or are already on the hook to pay the tickets, which are $50 each, they don't have a lot of time to wait around for an investigation to be done. Can you tell me how many tickets so far have been dissolved or removed from people's records? Has that been happening? Are people getting refunds for the tickets they've been wrongfully given?
So again, since it's still under review, I don't have those numbers. As I told you, it'll probably be about 2 weeks till we complete everything, but we're not issuing any
New tickets.
We haven't issued any violations of any type since we put the matter on hold. The city, parking authority, and police continue to issue tickets to people that park illegally or violate city ordinances within our complex. So those would be separate from us. And any adjustments that will result from our review will go towards the individual tenants. But as I told you and as I said to tenants before, if there are any areas that they want to appeal, they can appeal that process through the appeal process we have here with the hearing officer. But as I told you, we haven't issued any tickets, so I don't know who's waiting on tickets, who would be waiting on a ticket.
Oh, I just know that many people were given the tickets.
Right, so they would, once the review's done, then the letters would go out to anyone with adjustments. And it should be noted that the tickets, the amounts were 25 to 50 the initials were 25, so you keep saying 50/50. What we're finding in our initial reviews is that a $25 fine was issued, and then only the additional fines were for tickets after those $25 tickets. But as I said, it's ongoing. We should be completing that within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have answers. But if people feel that they have a fine that is not appropriate, they can always, tenants and anyone can always appeal that through the appeal process here.
Okay, great. I mean, I am concerned because I've reviewed the parking policy, sitting right where you are, Mr. Chairman, and I reviewed it, and there's no mention of $50 in there. There's no mention of first-time offenders are 25 and 50 for the second time. You're charging people way more for parking tickets than the rest of the New Brunswick pays. If I get a parking ticket for parking in an area I'm not supposed to park, it's $27. So I don't understand why people...
I think he just answered your question, so can you go to the next comment?
That is, I'm making a comment, it wasn't a question. I'm making my comment. I'm concerned because I reviewed the policy.
You keep on saying 50/50, he told you that, he just explained to
He
you.
said some are 50 and some are 25.
He didn't say that.
No, I said what we found so far is all the initial tickets were 25, and it
Yeah.
appears that a $50 ticket or $50 fine was assessed for additional parking violations after the $25 initial. That's where this kind of, I guess, went a little off skewed. So while we're reviewing and going back to make any adjustments, $25 is the parking fine. We're not really sure when the $50 amount, or the second offender, 50 or third, fourth, or fifth offender came in. But we'll finish our review, and that'll be made to the board in the next couple of weeks, and then any adjustments from that will be made.
Okay, I'll give you a chance for 2 comments, please.
2 comments.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not sure exactly what constitutes a comment, but I will say
I'll
that...
decide on that one. Just give me your next comment.
So I'd like to raise to your attention that the reason that this is under investigation is because I brought it to the attention of Mr. Clark, and other people brought it to the attention of Mr. Clark.
I mean, he
on
responded
February
in detail,
1st.
so
And
you're
what-
repeating
Sir,
the same thing. He has responded
Sir,
in detail.
this will take longer if you interrupt me every sentence I
No,
start.
no, no, I can stop you at any time, because you have only 5 minutes, that's the limit, okay?
Okay,
So go
then can
ahead.
you let me talk?
I'm letting you talk, but you're repeating the same thing. He has answered it in detail, okay? So if you have another comment, I would like to hear that.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
the point I'm trying to make
Okay.
is that it would be wise for Mr. Clark to meet with me more frequently and to address my concerns and my questions sooner, because we are sitting here on April 27th, and a matter that I brought to the executive director's attention on February 1st is still under investigation. We still can't explain when did we start giving people $50 fines for parking. We don't know. We don't know how many were given out, and we don't know. Quite frankly, the policy I looked at does not appear to have been approved by this board. The policy, simple questions. When was the policy approved by the board? Not answered. No one can answer that. Is this the only parking policy that the agency has had? Has it been modified recently? If so, when? Simple questions from February have not been answered.
Okay, we have heard that. Do you have another comment, sir, related to parking?
Well, actually, no, I'll move on to a different topic. I wanted to ask about whether the New Brunswick Housing Authority was involved in Camner Square affordable housing project that was constructed, and I know one of the employees ended up getting a house out of it.
Mr. Chair, that's one of the questions that you had previously asked. As I said, we'll be answering the questions we can answer by Friday. The ones that we can't, we'll tell you we were unable to answer.
Okay, and can you tell me, will you be releasing the surveillance video that would, really kind of provide a lot of evidence in terms of the other matter I brought to your attention about people possibly illegally living in the building next to us?
We've been asking you to identify that person. You never identified, so
Well, no, actually, Mr. Chair, Mr. Cradavilla did identify, I think it was after one of the meetings, a person that he believed was in. But I have not received any evidence to support that initial claim. With regard to the video, again, I think that's one of the questions that we would be addressing by Friday if we're able to do
Yeah,
that.
did the executive director review the video?
I have not.
So you didn't check the video that would show whether somebody got out of that building, moved the van,
Well,
and then got back into the building. You didn't check the video that would totally shine a light on the allegation that I brought to your attention.
no, I haven't.
The video that I've requested that is the subject of a lawsuit has not been reviewed. No one even looked
Well,
at
hold
it.
on a second. You asked me if I reviewed the video. I have not.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Has anyone at the Housing Authority reviewed it? I mean-
that's a different question. You asked me if I reviewed it. I have not.
You have another comment, sir?
Yes, I mean, I really just want to, be straightforward and open to you guys. I have nothing to hide.
Yes, you do. You had, on your last video, you said you had 172 Oprah requests. You took that out, you edited that out of that portion of your video, so you do have something to hide.
Please explain, what am I hiding?
I just made that comment.
What, okay, so,
Motion adjourned.
okay, this is not open and transparent. What this is disgraceful. You've allowed a board member to make an allegation, say, I don't want to support that allegation. I don't want to say why it's relevant. I just want to make an allegation against a member of the public, and oh, by the way, meeting's over, we want to end it.
You didn't make an
That's
allegation,
disgraceful.
You made a comment.
No.
You made a comment.
Okay.
Any other public?
I was interrupted, sir.
No, I gave you the last chance.
I was interrupted, I was saying. I was trying to end on a good note, I'm trying to,
Okay,
I know,
all right.
I know public service is not easy. I know it's probably not easy to deal with a guy like me,
No,
but I gotta be honest.
You're easy, you're no problem, just give me your.
Oh, I'm no problem, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no. And
At the end of the day-
you're hard, okay, to deal with, okay? So just go ahead and make your comment.
thank you.
Don't
So,
worry.
I just wanted to say that, we live in a democracy.
Of course.
People who volunteer their time to serve on this board work for the public, they work for the government, and this agency is funded by every taxpayer in America. It's a
Yes.
federally funded agency, and so I think the board should behave differently, and I think the professionals should behave differently, and I think that you should not, interrogate people who are videotaping your meetings or level allegations against them. You shouldn't tell people, members of the public who want to come to your meeting, that Rutgers students aren't allowed at the meeting.
When did you say that?
Did Commissioner Jones say that today to someone?
Where did you say that?
Where'd you get that from, Charlie?
When
I
did you
did
get
not
that?
say that. So that's motion to adjourn.
Yet again, when
by the way,
Mr. Jones now
by the
answers,
way.
he makes a motion to adjourn.
By the way.
This is not how public officials
Okay.
should behave.
No. If you claim that he said that, he didn't say it here, okay? If you claim, okay, so don't bring up issues that had happened outside, if it ever happened, okay? So you.
I mean, I'm just saying, the board should behave openly all the time.
We
You
always
should
do
encourage
that.
people to come to your meetings.
No, we always
You
do
should videotape your own meetings so that you have a record of it.
You're doing it for us.
And
so-
people can watch those videos at newbrunswicktoday.com, and that is, unfortunately, we're gonna step up and do it because this board won't. And I thank you for letting me speak, and I just hope that we can resolve these issues of
Okay,
government
yeah,
transparency and do better as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, do you have a closed session item?
Yeah, yes. Maybe, motion to close?
I'm
Or
sorry.
do the
So,
closed session?
So, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who moved?
Yeah, he moved.
Yes. So this is a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel and attorney-client privilege matters.
And I'm sorry, who seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes.
Commissioner Robondo?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Motion to open?
Make a motion to open the meeting.
Second. Roll call? Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes.
Commissioner Robondo?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
The record should reflect that the board adjourned to closed session to discuss personnel and attorney-client matters. The meaning of those minutes will become available when the matters are no longer confidential.
Motion to close?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Commissioner Caldwell, I'm sorry, Commissioner Caldwell moved?
Yes,
And Commissioner Jones seconded. Right? Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes.
Commissioner Ovando? Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you.